Well, to our discussion segment, as the nation grapples with soaring food prices, increasing utility bills, and headline inflation reaching a staggering 29.9% in January 2024, it is evident that many individuals and families are facing immense challenges in balancing their finances. Today on Business Express, we will look at how Nigerians can navigate this difficult terrain and improve their financial well-being amidst escalating expenses. Our guest is Dr. J. Ugwu, financial literacy expert and management consultant. He joins us via Zoom from Enugu. You're welcome to Business Express.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure having me.
Well, Dr. Ugwu, it seems like the hardship that we are experiencing here is like Enugu seems to be a different ball game. It's like it doesn't reach there or something.
It is actually, in this place, it's so hot. The weather is so hot.
And the pocket is also hot, right? Okay,
I actually feel the impact on people about what they're going through.
Okay, now let's delve into it. Well, with the cost of living skyrocketing, and it seems like families and individuals find it very difficult to navigate through. I want us to start this conversation from consumption first. At this point in time, when you look at your expenses, your financial well-being, how do you stand to plan your life? Let's start with consumption before we look at budgeting and the others.
Okay, yes, that is very, very important because when you look at it, the bottom line is the ability of people to use their earning or their income to be able to purchase the things they need to use, to sustain their livelihood. So consumption is actually very, very key. But it's also important that even before we look at consumption, one of the key things that would enable anybody to survive in this period is your mindset, your understanding of what is going on, your approach, your psychological approach to it. Earlier we were having a conversation and I said that it's important to understand that it's during challenges that inventions are born. So for every family or every individual going through these problems, and even as a nation, it's for us to understand that this is a period for us to look inwards and then come up with ideas and strategies to overcome this. So once you know that this is not an end, it's only a bend, then it becomes easier for you to now look at consumption, for instance. So for consumption, if you come to a family or a home or an individual, you need to look at how much are you consuming in a month, and then look at your potential income. Now, the first thing you may need to do is you need to begin to work on, all your basic necessities. It's important to say that, this is not the time to engage in luxuries, ostentatious living. You need to, try to minimize, the amount of money you spend. For instance, now, we're all grappling with the cost of fuel. So for families that have 3-4 cars, you find out that if the man, the husband and the wife go, maybe the way they work is along the same direction, and then the school where the children go to school to is also along the same direction. Instead of the wife driving in her own car, the husband driving in his own car, it may be better you wake up early, everybody will dress up, you use one car so you can drop the children at school first. Then if your wife is dropping first, whoever is going with the car, you drop the other spouse, and then the other person now goes with the car. Then depending on your closing arrangement. But the important thing is that there is a need for understanding to say, okay, this expense we can share with. For instance, personally, you may need to go down to, if you have a number of cars, you can say, okay, which one is the most fuel efficient, which one is the most economical. Let's park the other ones in the garage and then focus on this. It also saves you maintenance. That when you come to your groceries, when you come to other living expense, you need to find a way to begin to manage. If you can buy things in bulk, if you have a little bit of funds, you have somewhere that can afford to buy a few things that can last maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, because of the rate at which things are increasing, then you may need to not panic buying now, but just to stop for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks or thereabout. That will help you to contain your consumption before we can now go into how do you increase your income, how do you increase your earning power, because there is a limit to which you can contain your consumption.
Before we get to the point where you earn some money, or you think of earning money, you just talked about people that have cars, What about people that don't have
Yes.
cars? They don't have access to, they have to use public transportation and things like
Yes.
that. What about them? How do they start to cut their own consumption at this point in time?
Okay, so in that instance now, if you're using public transport, it means that places that are unnecessary, you probably don't need to visit those places. For instance, if you want to visit one friend in one particular area of the city before you get to work or after you get to work, those things are extra expense. So you need to maintain yourself within, if it is going to work that you have to, which is compulsory for you to also be able to earn your basic income, then that's the basic commute that you need to do. Every other thing that is extra, you look at it, okay, how much income or how much am I benefiting from this journey that I want to make? As long as that is not bringing something down to your bottom line or substantial benefits to you, you may need to step down on those things, on those journeys, until this period is over. And like I said from the beginning, once you get the mindset this period will be over, we can still get back to our normal lifestyle, but we need to find a way to navigate through this period at this point in time. So anything that is extra, you need to step down a bit on it.
Okay, then let's now move to income. How do you generate income at this point in time? Because really, a lot of people are not really finding it easy at this point in time. When you look at, like for instance, the price of almost everything has gone up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, people will need to, and then I've been preaching this, I've been teaching this for over a decade now. People will need to begin to expand their income. But let me also issue a disclaimer, a caveat right away. Okay. Now, people need to be aware that in the midst of financial troubles as we're going through now, that is when fraudulent schemes abound. So people have to be very, very careful, very, very observant, very, very diligent in engaging in, either opportunities or platforms that promise to give you more money, because people would want to leverage on people's hunger for more money to introduce fraud, and then you find out that you're trying to make more money, the small one you have, you now finally end up losing it. So it's important people are very, very aware that the number or amount of fraud in the country, within the society, would increase. So you need to be very, very careful so that you don't fall victim to any of them. Having said that, it is very, very important you begin to expand how you make income. And let me talk about this first. The thing is about making more money. Now, question I always ask people is, what is money? Money is a means of exchange of value. So we need to understand that money is a means of exchange of value. So if you want to buy a bag of rice, for instance, let's say 70,000. Now, that bag of rice is value. So you carry your money and give the person that is selling the rice, and he gives you the bag of rice in exchange. Now, for you to make that 70,000, you would have given somebody something else for him to give you that amount of money. So the fundamental understanding people should have in their quest to make more money is to ask themselves, not how do I make more money, but what value can I give other people so that they can give me their money in exchange. That is the only way to legally and ethically make money. So I encourage people, don't look for money. First, sit down in your house. Ask yourself, for instance, if you're a doctor, for instance, you're a lawyer, for instance, you're a civil servant, ask yourself, what value can I deliver to another person so that the person can give me his own money and be happy giving me that money? Now, I give you a number of instances. Number one thing you can now begin to monetize is your skills. If you already have a skill, let's say you know how to draw, let's say you know how to teach small children, let's say you know how to do graphic design, let's say you have some basic IT skill, or even as a broadcaster, there are things you can do in terms of maybe event management, maybe media promotion. Those are skills you have. Now, those skills are valuable. So question you ask yourself is, who in the society needs my skill so that when I deploy this skill, the person can give me 10,000, the person can give me 20,000 because I have delivered value. So people can begin to say, okay, I know how to do decoration, I know how to do event management. So over the weekend, for instance, if you're a civil servant, over the weekend, can I go for an event, manage that event? Now that's you giving the event owner a value. And then the person can say, okay, I give you 10,000 in exchange. We teach all of this in proper business. You understand? So you can make 10,000 a weekend, you can make 15,000 in a weekend. So it's important to see how you can monetize your skill, because that is the value you can give another person so that the person can give you his or her own money. And that thing you can monetize is your knowledge. There is knowledge you have that other people in the society do not have that knowledge. And then Computer IT, internet has given us a leverage to be able to deploy our knowledge. Again, this is the age of information, age of knowledge. People are seeking knowledge in so many areas. So you can say, okay, can I impart knowledge into other people, not traditional school system, but there are ways you can monetize your knowledge and make money out of it. Let me give you an instance. I'm a medical doctor, actually, besides teaching entrepreneurship and being a business consultant. So over just last month, I decided to say, okay, I think some women are suffering from fibroid. Can I find a way to teach them how to manage fibroid at home, put them in a WhatsApp group, and they pay 1,000 naira each? I've given them value for them to know how to manage a medical condition they have. They've given me 1,000 naira. So if there are 10 of them in the group, I've made 10,000. So I'm just giving that example. Whatever field you are, you can monetize your knowledge. Even your passion, you can monetize your passion. You can develop new skills. But the bottom line is, ask yourself, what value can I give to another person so that the person can give me his or her own money happily? Then I can now use that money to solve my own problems. That is the first way to begin to expand your income.
Okay, do you see any possibility of investing at this point in time, investment and savings at this point in time? Because actually the cost of living is actually taking a lot from people's pocket. How is it possible to invest at this time?
Yes, that is very, very possible. But now, let me also say this. Investment at this point in time is very tricky. Now, the definition of investment is actually anything your money does to make more money for you. So investment is you putting your money in something so that as your money is in that thing, it can give you more money. Business is you doing something to make more money. I've explained that already in expanding your income. That's business. Now, the tricky thing about investment is that investments take time. For instance, a classical investment is investing in stocks. If you want to buy, let me say, go to Nigerian Stock Exchange, you want to buy shares of companies quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and then you have 1 million now, for instance, and then you invest that 1 million in shares. It will take approximately 1 year before you can start earning dividends, before you can start making money from that investment. So that investment will not solve your present problem, except if you had invested 2 years ago, if you had invested 3 years ago. Now, landed property is also a very good investment. So if you buy a piece of property in Abuja, for instance...
Dr. Ugwu, you're talking about people with big money here. I'm talking about people with small money that they need to really double their income.
When you have that small money,
yes.
Yeah, when you have that small money, what happens is, let's say you have a 1,000. You'll be looking for people that will tell you, put it here. After 1 hour, you get 2,000. And those things are fraudulent. So for this point in time, the investment I can always recommend for people is investment in personal development. Okay. Invest in skills. Invest in learning a new skill, which you can deploy so that you can earn money. Most other investments, if they promise you quick returns, they are most likely fraudulent. If they are not promising you quick returns, it's going to take time for that investment to mature to give you money. Even if it is 1 naira investing in stock, it's going to take time to mature. So what happens is you may not be able to meet up with your financial needs currently. So what you need to invest is say to yourself, whatever area of life you are, what if you have 100,000, 10,000, 15,000?
Well, that was our financial literacy expert and management consultant, Dr. J. Ugwu.